There's history in the making. The McIntyre Mini Globe Race 2025. Small boat, huge adventure.
Well, good day, everybody. Here we are. It's actually 8:30 in the morning here in Fiji, and I know that's about 10:30, I think it is, in France and Europe and things like that. So I'm probably an hour late from where I used to be. I've actually been up since sort of like before 7, doing bits and pieces, conference calls, WhatsApp stuff, bloody drops on social media, and I thought, I better do a bloody tracker update. And I'm looking a bit grim. I still haven't, the showers are over that way. Beautiful showers here, by the way. Everything about Buddha is great. And I got to have a shave this morning and stuff. And I looked and I thought, oh shit, I can't do a tracker. But then I thought, what the hell? And this is my standard 4 for being on the boat. I keep whacking my head. That was on the Dodger up the top. We've got the Dodger up. We've got the Bimini up. We've got, slowly getting organised. So I thought, okay, even though there's only a couple of boats out there, we better do a tracker update, and because there's some funny stuff happening. I mean, Renaud will be beside himself at the moment because he's still going backwards. It's got nothing to do with him. It's just the Yellow Brick tracker, and we've told Yellow Brick, I thought they might have changed it by today, but there's something that's reversed on his tracker. So as he's making progress towards the finish, he's got a negative speed, and so he's going backwards. So he's just about coming last at the moment. He's on the leaderboard. It's showing him at 12th position or something. So forget about that. That will be sorted later on. You'll see on the tracker where he really is. He's not moving fast at the moment. Geez, my beard is bloody hopeless, eh? Anyway, all is good, and I've been really busy here trying to get our other boat, Explorer, which is Swan 57, organised with the repairer. We got some damage on it in the end of the OGR, and there's been all this rescheduling going on, and I've got some volunteer crew. Millie, who was our junior sailor, actually, she was our junior sailor, young underage sailor, on Explorer in the last leg of the OGR. You have to have, under the race rules, someone under 24 on your boat on each leg, and we sponsored the young kids. Or I say young, I mean, she's not that young. I think she's probably too old now. I think she's maybe 24. I must be 24, 25. She's actually a chief mate on Clipper race, on Sir Robert Knox Johnson's Clipper. So that's pretty cool. And she and one of her girlfriends was going to give us a hand to move the boat, but the days have all changed and blah, blah, blah. So lots of liaising between two marinas to relaunch the boat, then tow it because the engine's not working at the moment, and then lift it out on the same day. So, and lots of other Spirit of Sydney, Ocean Globe Race stuff happening in the background as well. Anyway, here we are. We'll get straight onto the tracker and just show you exactly what's going on. It's been good. Thanks, Coconut, for the pictures and videos of Skookum. They're pretty cool. Always good to see the boats sailing. I remember the very first video we did of TRAKER. The first sail we ever had on TRAKER was with the sail designer from Quantum. In other words, they have Quantum sail makers, but there's one guy who designs the sails, and he was based in France, and he came out sailing, and he and I had our first sail on the boat. So we put our rib in the water and I filmed a few things, and it's kind of interesting to compare that. And I would never forget all the comments that came up when people saw us, I want a dog box, hobby horsing and blah, 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 blah. But when you see them passage making now, they really are exactly what we ever envisaged. Giannis, the designer, I chose him over two other designers for his experience on small boat stuff and simple construction and that whole concept. And then we worked together on all the elements that I wanted to put in the boat and the parameters and things like that. And jeepers, every time I see the boat sailing, I think this is cool. They're doing exactly what they're meant to do. It's like a little upgraded modern version of John Guswell's TRAKER, so I got no complaints, and all the little discussions that come up, you can never please everyone all the time, but the whole concept of the 580 was to be a true ocean voyager that could sail well under wind vane and fit in a container, which put constraints on the total budget of building the boat, and that's just perfect because we really do have what I call a high success rate. I've been involved with amateur boat building since I was 18. I was in an association about ferrocement boat building back in the 70s, and that was I won't call it all the rage, but there was a lot of concrete boats being built. And the first boat I was building was a replica of Sue Haley, because Robin Knox Johnson at the time was a bit of a hero for me, and I thought if that boat got around, I'll build one of them. So that's exactly what I was building, a concrete boat. And there's all amateur boat builders there, and, blah, blah, blah. But anyway, a lot of those boats didn't get finished, including my concrete boat, because it was too big for me. My girlfriend shot through, and I thought, bugger that. So I sold it to a guy. He never finished it, and I then built a little fiberglass boat. I digress. Anyway, the 580 is the perfect size to start, because it's not too big, not too small, and we've got a high success rate, of people starting to build these boats that have never built them before, and they're still building, and they will get in the water because it is achievable. Even though when you're torture boarding and all that sort of stuff, you'd think, oh, jeepers, when's it all going to end? Why am I doing this? All those sorts of things. You can always sort of see the next step. And the guys and girls that are sailing the 580 now in the mini globe race prove the point and have taken the dream to the next level. And that's a real inspiration for all the builders. So that keeps them going in the backyards and in the tents and in the garages and all that sort of stuff. And when their mates and everything are looking at it, the builders can say, hey, yeah, these boats get around the world. Check this out. I mean, touch wood, we're not there yet. No one's got around the world yet. But so far, so good. And I really feel it's quite exciting in a strange or obscure sort of way that by the time they get here in Vuda Marina in Fiji, crikeys, they're nearly halfway around the world. Not quite, but if you take it back to Portugal, which I know wasn't the MGR, from Marina del Lagos in Portugal, which is a great home for the 580 for the Transats and so on, and then across to Lanzarote, and then Sailing Academy in Antigua, to Panama, here across the ship. They'll be in Fiji soon, touch wood. It's pretty cool. Anyway, I digress. We're preaching to the converted. We've got some people there now, so we can go straight to the tracker, and I'm going to do my talk to make sure I press the right buttons and you don't get black screen. So there, you're on the tracker. Okay, so I'm going to go on the tracker. So here we are. I'll put some wind in here, and Jane is actually monitoring this up in the mosquito-infested forward cabin, because I opened the door too early in the morning and the mozzies came in. No such thing as paradise, eh? Anyway, so Renaud, you can see him roaring out to the west there. Josh is still at sea, right next to Coconut as well. Gary's making progress, and right down the back, I just like putting in the laps and longs. We've got the boys. Mike is on top of Popeye by the look of it, so let's just take it down and we'll zoom in on them. Jeepers, yep, they're on top of each other. They're having fun. They're going to do the 3,000 miles side by side, inside of each other all the way, which is unusual. Usually in usual ocean scenarios, it's quite easy to get separated. But with GPS and sat phones and VHF, we're slowing down here, waiting for everything to catch up. Anyway, in the meantime, 4 knots for Popeyes, 98 mile a day. That's pretty good. John, 3.9 knots, 98 miles side by side. We're too small for the wind, so they're really close. I'll just try this again. Oh, here we go. But we've bounced it back. I just want to see how far apart they are. I reckon they're going to be like probably half a kilometre. Rightio, we'll measure it up. This is just for fun. Come on, there's one there. There's the other one there. 0.10 of a nautical mile. So 1,700 yards, that's showing really close. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, 0.10 of it, so 10% of a nautical mile. This, if I remember right, there's about 1,700 meters, 1,700 yards or something in a nautical mile, something like that. It's 5,000 feet. I never talk about that more. So 1,700 yards is about right. Yards close to a meter, 10% under. So that would make them 17 meters, not very far away at all. They're right. No, I'll probably completely balls it up. But anyway, suffice it to say, they are very close and obviously having a lot of fun. So we'll look at the weather is going to be pretty much as they expect in the trades on the port quarter. They're definitely not going too fast. They're not trying to put the pressure on, because with those sorts of breeze, that sort of wind, you'd think they'd be making a little bit better time of that. But who knows? It's very hard to say if this graphic is 100% correct. I'm zooming that out to just follow the breeze a bit. We'll just take them back a day, boom, there. Yeah, there is some light stuff here. There's a little bit of a blue tinge around the boat, so might be 15 knots. Push it through a day, 21. Let's go 22. They got plenty of breeze, nice breeze, 23, picking up a bit. So yeah, they'll keep their 100-mile days. And how far to go? Boom, boom. There's still 760 miles to go. So it's about 7 days, so a week. So a week, or yeah, that's a fair enough assessment. Okay, so that's those guys done. Now Gary, he's happy chappy with his clean bottom, 4.6 knots, 104-mile day. He probably wants to go faster, but that's okay. Josh is doing 4.6 knots, 98 miles a day. It looks like 100 miles a day is where it's at. And Coconut's alongside him. Everyone's still in port. Dan will be getting ready to leave. He had he's lost a bit of a gap, or the gap has increased between him and Renaud, as he had a slow approach into Papeete. However, Renaud's only doing 2.5 knots, so it's a bit light where he is. I better put the weather back. I think that's still on the crook weather here. There we go. Okay, so you can see there, if I just decrease it, just have a big look. Renaud has basically sailed out of this band of trade winds, hasn't been going really fast because it's been light. There's some transitions going on here between systems. You can see this is creating unstable situation. So we'll have a look at that in a minute to see what's going, because there'll be a few boats starting to leave now as well. So we'll probably do a weather. I'll go through the next 5 days weather here, and you can see what they're likely to be getting in the next few days. So here we go. So yeah, Renaud's quite light. He's now progressed, and there's, as I say, something going wrong with the leaderboard. He's progressed only 100 miles. That's really slow, eh? 100 miles, if that's correct position. And we had a chat on WhatsApp yesterday. I checked with Renaud. He said his GPS position and the position given by the tracker is correct. It's just that on the leaderboard, it's completely stuffed up. That's the way I read it anyway. But that's not so fast because he's been out for a while. And you can see even there on the data box, if you're looking at that, it just says minus 101 miles. So we don't know. When Dan takes off, he may be in the same situation, but let's just see what happens. Yellow Brick are aware of it. We told him yesterday. And that's a software issue. Okay, because you can see over here when Josh is going, he's done 98 miles, but there's never a negative there. There's a positive 98 miles going through. So there is absolutely something going on. But anyway, Renaud's not fast at the moment because there's not a lot of breeze. And let's just therefore see what the forecast is going to bring. If I put this back here, so you'll see what Josh is going to get. There's a band of this trade wind's coming out across over the top of everyone. So Josh and Gary are expected to carry on regardless. Now I'll just push that out every few hours. So there's a bit more breeze coming. So you can see by this afternoon, or my time this afternoon on GMT by later in the day, you're actually, hang on, I'm just having a look here because I got to think on my feet. So that's 19th of May, 2000 UTC. That's correct. Okay, so that's in the afternoon in Europe. Yeah, evening in Europe. So that is correct. So it's funny. I always tend to think European time because that's where I'm from, and the boats in French Polynesia in Tahiti are actually close to Fiji, or partway across the Pacific, but they're at the end of the day. In other words, the sun's heading towards the date line, which is not far from here. The date line here is just a little bit over there to the east. So that's at the end of the day, whereas here we get the sun up first thing and we started a new day. We're on the 20th now, and it's only 8:30 in the morning. So my head's getting screwed around on a few things here, but that's fine. So that is the correct situation. And in a day, which is the 20th UTC, 1600 rather, which is 4 o'clock, coming through. So he'll be sailing again in a number of hours. You can see the green coming through, and that's quite fast. So we go through to the 21st UTC, 22nd. And it's certainly not powerful. It's not strong. You can see there's quite a bit of blue. I'll come back out to show you the big picture. So that blue is light wind. So it's a bit lighter going across. I've got to hit. Jeepers, get out of there. I've got to hit that again to go. So yep, there's a big light patch in the middle there. A bit frustrating. There was a big cell sitting here yesterday. A big one, but it's disappeared, so it's not going to affect them. That just suggests there's, big thunderstorms and stuff. This is now 3 days out. So 3 days, you should be, let's just assume you're going to make 100 miles at least. 3 days out, it's going to be around about here, so the breeze is okay. But you can see some bigger winds coming down low, and you might see Renaud staying high. He's always good at getting the weather, so he'll probably stay up here because there's going to be a band of weather coming through underneath them that looks quite solid. If I keep, I've got to push this, sorry. I'll just, not that one, the other one. Got to get rid of that. Got to hit that, so that's the 23rd. Just push this through and you'll see what's developing underneath. This goes down to a system way down here in the Southern Ocean, right? A monster high, absolute monster. Look at this, it's just going brrr right around here. This is down in the Southern Ocean, roaring 40s, but nonetheless, it's the top of this monstrous high. I'll go right back and show you. This is it there. That potentially that's just one massive high that's quite a long way down. That's pretty normal in a way because it's what creates the southeast trade winds. However, this is not sure what the isobars are, the barometric pressure is, millibars or hectopascals, but it looks strong, and so that's what's driving a stronger winds down here. So if we come back, up here and make it a bit bigger, you can see there it is there. There's Renaud over the top right, and then we keep going. I've got to hit this again. Every time I change something, I've got to hit the movement so I can use the keys to progress the weather. You can see that strong band is just below 20 degrees south of the equator. And then we've got a system developing right over Tonga at the moment. Like if you came through here, there's probably 35 knots gusting. There's probably 30 knots gusting 40 knots here, maybe. Could be that thing. So there's this cell here, and you can see there's the convergence of the weather systems. What I'm talking about on this leg from Papeete to Tonga has always got the potential to have some strange stuff going on because you've got the influence of the high and low pressure systems way down south over New Zealand and in the southern latitudes, as well as the instability of the intertropical convergence zone above and all this sort of stuff. So it's quite often messy. And you can see here, Renaud's only a week away from this area. If he was there now, there would be all sorts of rubbish going on here, right? So this is set for the 24th of May, 4 days' time. He'll only be back here in beautiful weather. But I was surprised to see him come off the run line and head up here. And I think the reason he's doing that is possibly because he's got the weather and he's realizing the most consistent and stable weather without the bigger breezes and bigger seas is going to be north of the run line. I may be wrong. He's probably watching this and maybe make a comment later on, but we'll see. So that's the 24th. I'll just push it forward a little bit further so you can see how this changes. It develops. It's all certainly the instability is obvious to anyone, and then it goes light right above that. So here we go, the 25th. and there's going to be quite a few days of light weather there. But behind Renaud, there's a bit more breeze. So by the time Renaud's up here and Dan's chasing him, the guys leaving, they look like they're going to have a bit of reasonable sailing. And then you've got this big area of no wind coming down. So it could be a slow passage. There's the 27th. Although there's breeze there, they might only just be coming out of that breeze then, and then it starts to settle down. There's the 28th, 29th. Beautiful trade winds now. So that's as far as we go on this one. So that's that one. I'm not going to show you the leaderboard. When you look at it, if you get there, you'll see Renaud's going backwards, but he's not. So that's enough of that. I'll just come and say g'day and see if there's any questions here. Boom. Okay. So that was our rather late. Probably most of the people that would normally follow us have already gone to bed. So g'day, Thomas. Hit the like button, everybody. Yeah, I like that. We're still stuck on 7,700 for Facebook. I'd love to see a lot more. I know that on average there's only about, I don't know, probably running 20% of people that are watching have actually liked our Facebook page. And if you can subscribe and like and comment on anything on YouTube and things like that, that's always cool. We're a bit backward. We're still using Facebook and YouTube as our frontline information source. So we're still, Jane's responsible for Instagram. I'm not sure what we're doing. What are we doing on Instagram, Jane? Are you still doing Instagram? Silence. Okay. G'day, Elizabeth. Daydream Mike. Oh, here we go. Mike's there. G'day, boys. Hi from DJ99 Popeye and 750 miles to French Polynesia. Whoop, whoop. So I hope you're having a good time. It's amazing, to think that that you're out there watching this, which is a bit of fun. So we're missing you guys a bit. Send us some more pictures. I got that picture of John on his ear, sideways. I asked him what it was. I haven't put it up. He gave me an explanation of exactly what happened when the picture, some of you may have seen it, when it was on its side, and I thought, what's going on there? So I'll post that and put John's explanation. I'll let him explain it. So anyway, hope all's well on the boats and the Barbie's going well and all that stuff. So looking forward to see you. I did the numbers yesterday, actually. We were working on the program here. If you're still watching this, Mike, I did the estimated fleet arrivals, and most of the fleet, excluding you guys, will get about a month here in Fiji, which is fantastic. So we're planning a few different things, like even to the point where we're planning a 4-day cruising company with the fleet if they want to go for a bit of a cruise around here. And I think you'll see some of the entrants might even fly home, but some of them will be here for 5 weeks and they might be missing family and friends. So they could park their boat, jump a plane, costs a bit, fly back to Europe, Australia, whatever, say good day, and then get back to their boats and carry on. So, but they'll have to be back for at least the I think it's 7, 8, 9 days. You'll have to be back. Any entrants thinking about going back home, you've got to be back, be compulsory, at least 8 or 9 days before the restart, because there's stuff happening there that you need to attend. But anyway, it'll be a fun time here, and certainly Adam and the crew, all the staff here, they're following closely. We're about to put out another press release. I'm working on it today. So that'll go out. They're following everything. They can't wait to see the fleet. They say, this is crazy. What's going on? So there'll be a very warm welcome here. And Adam, the manager, is right into it. He's still, I've given him a set of plans for the 580, but he hadn't mentioned it this time. Last time he said, oh, Jesus, I'd love to build one. Anyway, they're a great crew here. So I think everyone's going to have a good time. So anyway, that's good. So good luck, Mike. Say good day to John. G'day, Rachel. Bruce keeps me sanding. Yeah, Bruce is building 100%. Keeps me sanding what my mates are doing out here. Seeing what my mates are doing out here. Yeah, exactly. It is inspirational, and sometimes I've said this before. I feel like a bit of a wanker at the moment because I'm always talking about it and not doing anything. And I'm usually, in my whole life, I've been a doer rather than a talker. I can still talk, but I do, and I'm not doing anything at the moment. Personal challenge-wise, but anyway, that's life. I still do get a buzz by helping others to get out there, and it's very satisfying for Jane and I. Fantastic news, Popeye, both doing good job. Yep. Hi, Don. Do you know which model wind pilot people are installing on the 580 amongst those? It's the Pacific Light, I think it's called. It's the smallest one of the wind pilot range. I mean, it's a good gear. It does the job. And the only problem, don't tell the guy who makes the wind pilot that it's for a 580, right? He won't sell it to you. Get one of your mates to do a scam job and make out they've got a boat, and then go and buy one if you want a new one, or buy a second-hand one. He hates me. I learnt a very long time ago in life, you can never please everyone all the time, but he's completely obscure and got it all wrong. When we report on failures on vanes, we talk about it on any vane, doesn't matter. And he took it to his heart with the GGR. So now he refuses to sell sell wind pilots. But they're cool, they work. Warren, 5 p.m. in the USA. Oh, perfect. So everyone in the States is getting a good ride. Rachel, what kind of conditions are likely to encounter this stage of the race? What challenges are they likely to encounter? Well, pretty much more of the same. It was I'd call it a very good run. I won't call it an easy run from Panama to Marquesas, but it was a very good run. You can get bogged down in that leg as well. I've never done that leg, but I follow it for a long time, even reading all the reports from other boats. Then coming down here through the Tuamotos and all that sort of stuff, that's I've done that, and what I experience is exactly what they're getting or have got. Mixed bag. This one to Tonga, I've sort of done that a few times, Tahiti to Tonga, and you see all the boats talk about it, right? Well, not all, but there's usually stories that come from boats that are sailing from Papeete to Tonga, okay, because there is this little bit of a weather anomaly where you've got these various systems converging and interacting with each other, which creates instability, and you can get some big seas and big stuff. So they'll be on their toes, but it's still generally trade winds, and it's still generally a nice passage, and it still generally winds from the right direction, but it can go on the nose for 2 or 3 days sometimes, and then you just got to go north or south and wait before you can go west. Anyway, so just more of the same. Cleverton, 6:50 a.m. in Sydney. You're up early. Jeepers, g'day. 2,150 in the... Oh, I saw it was miles, but it's 9:50, so 10 o'clock. G'day, Adrian. Good to see you up. Thank you. Really nice chat with Kerry. In my opinion, you can keep on getting political. I don't get political, too often, but interesting because, we chatted about a few things with Kerry, but Kerry's from a very interesting background, and as I know and he knows and more people know, he's had some interesting positions in life, and he was working for the diplomatic corps and all that sort of stuff in different places, and he's very up with world events, and you have lunch or dinner with Kerry and the conversation is really quite inspiring, I can tell you. I've been there. He's an interesting guy, and on the political front, sometimes you've got to take sides, sit there and do nothing, and nothing happens, but the world is a great place, and we've all got a lot of hope left in us yet. So, okay, that's us. So, thanks everybody. We'll see how we go. I'll try, if I do I've got to do a TRAKER update at about 7 o'clock by the look of it. It makes it more civilized in the morning. So we'll see where we go. Okay, I'll see you later. Thanks for that.
There's history in the making. The McIntyre Mini Globe Race 2025. Small boat, huge adventure.